So my name is Grace, and I work at the Queensway Carleton Geriatric Assessment Outreach Team. So we're off-site to the main hospital, and I'm the admin assistant. So I had some pain in my left breast, and I'd heard a rumor, when you have pain, it's not cancer, so don't worry. But of course, I went to get it checked. So I went to my GP, and so she examined me, and she said, "Well, I'm going to send you for a mammogram." I was 44 at the time. So it was my first mammogram. And so she said, "Where would you like to go? TOH, QCH, whatever." And I said, "No, I'd like to go to QCH. That's, I'm comfortable there. I know my way around." So off I went, and I had the mammogram, and they asked me to have a seat and wait, which I didn't know was unusual. And so they said, "Well, just make sure we have the right the right picture." So the radiologist came in to speak to me, and he said, "We've seen something we'd like to check out a little further. So we'd like to know if you would be willing to have an ultrasound." I said, "Absolutely." So off we went to the next station, and I had my ultrasound. So I was a little surprised because they took me on the fly, and I was happy because I wanted to get answers. So I had my ultrasound, and radiologist came in again and said, "Would it be all right if we did a biopsy?" And I said, "Absolutely, yes. Thank you for doing it so quickly and not making me leave and come back." And so off we went, and we had the biopsy. So they said, "Don't worry, and we'll call you in a week. You'll get the results," or I should say, the doctor would get the results. So a week later, I think it was a week, or it could have been 2 weeks, but I think it was closer to a week. Might have been about 10 days. Hard to remember now. It's been almost 6 years. So my GP called me. I was working in the day hospital at the time, so my cell phone went off. It was the doctor, so I took my phone. I actually came into this room, and she said, "Grace, I'm not going to waste your time for you to come in and this." And I said, "Look, give it to me straight. What's the verdict?" She says, "You have cancer, and it's also gone to your lymph nodes." They had biopsied my lymph nodes as well. I guess in the ultrasound, they saw a lump there as well. So she said, "You have cancer in the breast and in the lymph nodes." She said, "The next call you get will be from the surgeon." I said, "Okay." I went back to my desk. I finished my day, and then I called my boss after and said, "I won't be in tomorrow." That was a Thursday. I didn't come in on the Friday, and then I just typed a little note so that she could read to the staff for me. And I basically said, "I'm coming back to work Monday, and just bear with me. And I have a lot of appointments." And so for the next month, I had I'd say about 8 different appointments, MRIs, various things that I had all at the Queensway. I did go to the Women's Health Breast Center once to meet with someone there. But the surgeon that was referred to was working at the Queensway Carleton at the time, Dr. Angel Arnaud. She was lovely, wonderful. And so she had the first appointment with me to discuss how it was going to go and what exactly the steps were going to be. Yeah, I go once a year for my mammogram of my right side because it wasn't a familial, genetic or genetic thing. It wasn't a BRCA gene or any of that. I feel confident every time I go. I'm like, well, things are going well. I don't ever expect to have anything wrong with my right side. I would say go quickly. Like I had pain, and immediately I went. Now I never imagined in that moment that that's what we were talking about, but I felt as soon as I was in the care of that circle of care, I felt okay. Now I can let go, and they can take the reins and do it. I'll just do what I have to do, be on the path. But getting on the path, like it was super important to, be on that path immediately. And I obviously wish I felt something earlier. I didn't realize that that's what was going on that whole year. I did see some change in the look of the nipple, but I was getting older, and and I thought, oh, it didn't really dawn on me at the time that was an indication. It didn't look totally different than my other nipple, but my breasts are a little bit different in size anyway, so I wasn't sure. And I would kid because that was my larger breast. I'm like, they took the big one.